Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dungeons and Destinies. I would like to say a couple words for before we get into tonight's episode. Firstly and foremost, you may notice that one of our delicious, adorable players, Erin, is not here tonight to play Daenerys. That is because she is with her family. And comically, I had set up the perfect way to write her out last session, and then fucked it up. So. So, other than that, all the music you will be hearing tonight in tonight's session will be made by the wonderful Michael Gelfi. Check him out on YouTube. It's Michaelgelfi. He's a wonderful composer and does make a ton of great music. I would also like to say that there may be a few discontinuities and things because I've completely forgotten everything from last session. So if that happens, I would like to ask my players to kindly remind me or correct me. Other than that, does anybody else have anything else they want to say?
Nope.
I did the art.
Mm.
I didn't have to say it this time.
Okay, you can go now.
Okay.
Cool.
So, welcome back to our aristocratic world of Aracretia. Last we left off, my wonderful, beautiful players arrived at the town, or at the city of Alethor, the capital city of livelaqore. As they approached the city, they started to notice how unbelievably huge it is. For a city in terms of size alone, it is massive, and they soon remembered that this is the largest city in all of Lenarol. The large, kind of green-hued walls and stone, covered in moss and vines, overtaking the rest of the city. The hustle and bustle of daily life, of different people going about, really welcome them back into the feeling of being in civilization after traveling for quite a few days. Inside the city, they overheard a few strange things, one of them being an old man talking about how he had lost his eye to something in Meat Alley. Moving along, they ended up coming across a couple of guards folk. They asked around for an inn to stay in, and eventually all came to the conclusion that the most recommended place, while not being the most lavishly talked about, was the Earth and Wind Inn. Deciding to go there and set up shop before heading to see the king himself, they entered the inner city and were stopped by guards at a checkpoint, taking weapons and kind of asking and inquiring about reasons for entering the inner city. And everyone but Daenerys and Rue were able to keep their weapons. Rue being a sister of Erono, or a worshipper of the goddess, and Daenerys being her royalty, was allowed to enter with her own weapons. As they entered the Earth and Wind, they met a very interesting couple of Genasi, Earth and Wind Genasi. They had a very incredible inn made of different assortments of like auditory and visual components, and there they were introduced to the one of the king's advisors, Arnulf, a kind of tall, older man with a hooked nose, very well dressed, very well mannered, always, and he sort of instructed the party on how to behave correctly. Asking Bo, Lothric, and I believe Rue to go to a tailor. They all dressed up and made their way to Castle Basilius.
Hey.
They finally entered the king, or the castle, Castle Basilius. They didn't enter the king, not yet.
Married.
And were announced. Albeit over and over, they were announced to King Oslo Basilius, where they were quickly introduced and found out that the king is not very kingly at all, and honestly would rather help out people than be of a kingly status. There, they sat down and discussed a couple things with him, namely their penchant and want to go to Spectre Island, and he responded with the troubles they've been having getting to Spectre Island as of late. depicting the 2 towns that they used to send ships to the island and their troubles. He then asked the rest of the party, apart from Daenerys, to go meet with Clay, another advisor to him. He described him as an Earth Genasi, and he's probably somewhere out in the garden somewhere, he said. With that, I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking here and say that while the party left, he and Daenerys began to discuss, and they talked for a very long time. And with that, we're going to pick up with the main party as you all begin to leave the small servant, not palace, but like mini mansion, 14 rooms, large. As you begin to leave that, following in the wake of Oslo's wife and daughters as they go to town. So, with that, you all, Rue, Magnus, Bo, and Lothric, exit the large building into the, once again, kind of green grounds mixed with different vibrant colors of blues, purples, yellows, and oranges. And with that, we'll begin tonight's episode. So, you may do as you wish.
God, the suit is so tight around the neck.
You're fine.
Oh, I don't like it. And he unpops the top button so that way he can actually feel like he's fucking breathing.
It's only for one night. I'm
Oh,
sure it isn't too bad.
Well, no, it's not too bad, but we're not doing anything formal. Well, other than the feast, right?
I suppose. We're just gonna kind of look around and kind of like just admire the flowers that are planted along the side.
There's a wide variety, and while a lot of them have the same kind of coloration, it doesn't take a naturalist to tell that these are from all over Lenorol.
Oh, that's so cool. So where in this garden is Clay? Can we see him?
Know. You'll have to look.
All right, I would like to look around for Clay.
Okay. It takes you, Rue, a little bit more time than anybody else would, as you all kind of like come back to your senses. You all feel a bit more powerful. You feel like your adventures so far have gained you enough experience to be kind of confident in who you are and what you're doing. Nevertheless, though, Rue, it takes you just a bit longer than it would anybody else to find and locate a kind of shorter, fat Earth Genasi. He's built like an old-timey boxer in that he's incredibly strong, but he looks like a normal dude.
Oh, okay. I suppose she's gonna walk over to him.
Okay, I need to know, does anybody else follow her?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll follow it.
Okay. So you guys all begin walking in the direction that Ruse is going. It takes you a couple seconds to get there. It's not a short distance for sure, but it's not an incredibly like, oh, that's a 3-mile walk, you know. So, as you approach him, you can hear him humming to himself, and he's like, and you see that he's kind of like tending to the garden, and he has his hands over a plant, and he seems to be casting some sort of magic that's healing it. You can see that it was trampled by something, and it's starting to come back to form.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes. How may I help you?
King Oslo sent us over to talk to you about the 2 towns that gained passage to the Spectre Island and what was going on with them.
Oh, right. And as you look at him, you see now that he's got a very like gentle face. He's deep smile lines, big chubby cheeks. He's got like kind of greenish skin, the same kind of greenish skin that you saw with the stone itself in the city. Except it's got these like kind of superfluous cracks through it, like cracked stone. His hair is very, it looks like rocks, like it looks like crystals are jutting out of his head, but it's very short. And you see that he's got like chubby cheeks, and he's wearing a very greenish yellow sort of robe. It's not like, it's kind of like loosely put together. Like he doesn't fret much about his appearance, but he chooses to look good sometimes. He's wearing sandals without socks. God.
Thank
Uh,
Iconic.
and
gods.
you see that on each of his fingers, he has a he has very many differently colored strings tied around them. Like they range from like reds to purples to greens to blues to yellows, and they're all tied around different fingers.
Ooh.
And he says, "Oh yes, the towns, right? Um, let me just finish this up really quick." And he
No worries.
goes back to focusing, and a couple seconds later, you watch as this flower kind of like sprouts back up and goes from like limp and dead to firm and alive. And he says, he dusts himself off and he stands up and he extends his hand to you, Magnus, and he says, "My name's oh, hang on, give me just a second. I got it. My name's Edward Clay, but I prefer Clay."
And I shake his hand. Magnus Centauri. Nice to meet you.
You know, it's lovely to meet you. So to talk about the towns, do you mean the town specifically to go to Spectre Island?
Yes.
I see. Well, I'm one of the king's advisors, and I deal mostly with all of the reports that come in, um, reports of like ne'er-do-wells and that sort of thing. Although it's not really befitting me. Um, well, the two towns that we do have up and running for voyage to Spectre Island are um, Reliquary and Callenberg. Now, unfortunately, Reliquary has sort of just stopped sending reports at all. And I've talked with one of the subservients of the Griftmore family here, and they said that their patrols haven't returned either. And now that's very strange because sometimes, a matron may forget to send a report, but the Griftmores are always very punctual on their time, and the fact that they've missed is rather concerning. And we're not really sure what happened. Um, so the best way to get you to Spectre Island, I'm assuming that's where you want to go, uh, would be through Callenberg. Although it is a rather long walk. It would take you about 2 weeks to get there. The report, however, was given to me by the matron there, and they say that apparently a new religious organization has cropped up. And while we do accept all religions here, these ones seem to have a couple fanatics that have, let's say, claimed the docks, if that makes any sense.
Hmm.
Claimed how so?
Well,
They're crusaders, aren't they?
not
Potentially.
not particularly. I mean, a crusader means one who conquers, one who slays in the name of their deity, but these are more citizens who have a bit more fervor about the religion they've decided to follow, and have since decided that the docks themselves are destined for them and them alone. And while the matron normally would be kind of dealing with this issue, apparently there's quite a bit, and she sent a request for help, although we haven't really been able to gather a force with a lot of what's going on in Cobalt, so we're really unsure what to do.
Understandably.
What
I
kind
mean,
of religion? Like, who are they following?
I'm afraid those details weren't sent in the letter.
Hmm.
How many
Odd.
people would you need?
Well, she requested an additional, um, let's see, and he kind of like, oh, and he looks at one of the strings on his fingers, and he says, "Oh, right, she requested an additional 20 guardsmen to help."
It's quite a lot. It must be a large threat.
I would assume so. Although, again, this is to deal with it in a peaceful way, and rather than stir on or push those who are doing it into martyrdom for the rest of the religion, we'd rather kind of gently but firmly remove them from the docks.
Well, we have offered our aid to Oslo, if he does accept it. So, if anything, we'd be willing to travel over, see what's about, and if anything, send a report back.
Of course.
Or at least try to help out in whatever way we can.
I have read up on the report about your group, and it sounds like you were able to handle yourselves rather well. But I'm you must understand I'm a bit worried about your methods of action.
That's fair.
I do suppose we've gained a reputation, haven't we?
A bit, yes.
At that, Bo is gonna like pull his hat down a little bit, just above his eyes.
And it's not anything to be ashamed of course. There are plenty of mercenary groups who only work in bloodshed, but we tend to try to keep as many alive as possible.
Of course.
What's
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry, please go ahead.
What was the deal with the other town?
Reliquary.
Reliquary. Thank you, Bo.
Well,
Hmm.
to be frank, reliquary we know next to nothing about. Like I said, people who have gone there, such as the Griftmore Despondents, just didn't come back after a while. So we're either looking at um, some sort of large raid, or uh, maybe some. Well, I doubt that the goblins of the Reprieve could do something on such a town of that size, but they might have been able to do something like that.
Goblins of the Reprieve. Can
Oh,
you
yes.
explain a little bit more on that, please?
Well, livelaqore is defined into about 7 sections. Each one is looked over and ran by a family appointed by his lordship. However, each one has their own amalgam of different creatures and magical beings that live here. And a long time ago, the first queen of livelaqore decreed and set into stone, literally, that most magical creatures are not to be trifled with. That includes common nuisances such as goblins or hobgoblin raiding parties.
oh.
So there are about 3 different clans of goblins in the Reprieve, but they mostly keep to themselves in the forests and things.
That's quite odd. Why did she decide that?
Oh, well, she was a very deep lover of all things in the world. Um, she must have been, let's see. I believe she took power in between the 2 great wars between Iclia and livelaqore. So she must have seen a lot of bloodshed, and when one sees that, they can only really hope for life, right?
Yeah.
When you say raids, is there any specific patterns? Any towns they've been hitting up at other parts of the country?
Well, like I said, they mostly keep to themselves, but they have been known to attack small villages on the outskirts of towns like River Run and Azima before. But other than that, there's really no connection that I could see. It's
Any other
definitely a. Oh, sorry.
my mistake. Any other bandit raids? Like any other kind of bandit raids that have been happening throughout the country?
I see. Um, well, the only news that I've seen that's picked up a pattern is the strings of arson. And that's honestly, it's strange. It's been connected with Solili and parts of Anquin as well. Um, Very, very strange. Over the past couple of years, a lot of arsons have been happening throughout Lenarol, and we're not sure why.
See. You have any idea of the group that might have been responsible for that? Specifically the one in Solili?
Um, I'm afraid not, no. I know that there was, if I remember correctly, one of the um, consulate members in Solili uh, set a formal complaint to the Emperor and requested aid for a bandit tribe, but I don't remember how that went or even if it went through.
That's bizarre.
I'll have to see you later about that.
Other than that, to be perfectly honest, if I could ask you to investigate one of them, if of course you don't have to, I would rather you investigate Reliquary. Not having any information about this at all is quite a daunting process, especially when we know what's going on in Kallenberg.
That's understandable. I suppose we could talk among ourselves and make a decision for you.
That is, of course, if you want to. There's no pressure here. I'm sure that things will get better in time.
I do hope so, but if we can, I'm sure we would love to help in whatever way possible.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
At some point, though, before the feast, I want to talk
Oh,
to you
oh,
about.
oh, 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 oh. Would you mind moving your foot? That's a new bud.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Oh,
Oh.
it's no big deal. Thank you.
Go stand over there.
Sorry.
In the middle of the path. Go stand over there.
I'm trying to talk to him.
You can
Sometime
yell.
before the feast, I want to talk to you.
Well,
If you have the time, of course. I understand that you're extremely busy.
I could probably set aside some time, and he grabs one of the strings and moves it up a knuckle. And then from his like he has a little pouch on his side, he pulls out a new thread and wraps it around it and ties it.
Oh, that's a cool way of keeping time.
Thank you.
Of course. I must say, you look rather dashing, and he looks at you, Lothric.
Well, thank you. The suit pays tribute to my time in the service.
Oh, what were you a part of?
It was the 105th Heavy Infantry Regiment out of Jorheim.
Interesting. I'm terribly sorry. I've heard about what happened to them.
I know, it's kind of hard, but I get by. Helping people that need to be helped. So,
That's
I
a
don't
very
mind
good
helping
thing.
in this at all.
Oh, and he kind of like turns around and he walks away a little bit and then bends down. He straightens back up and walks back and he says, I know that Jorlheim is sort of a colder climate, but we managed to actually grow one of the flowers here." And he holds out like a blue tulip that has pink buds on the inside and blue petals on the outside. And he says, I know it's not much, but, well, if it reminds you of home at least.
Well,
mean-
thank you. These grew a lot around the capital, and it's nice to see these again. I kind of missed home just a little bit. And Lothric takes the petal and he, like, kind of pushes it through the top of his pocket.
Like a boutonniere.
Exactly.
Nice.
And he says, what? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, God. Sorry.
No, you please.
I understand that with us investigating the issues that have been arisen, would you have any advice on how to handle this without bloodshed, if that's what you're looking for.
He
I
kind of like
understand that I don't want to give a bad reputation to the king.
he furrows his brow and he kind of says, "Well, the issue isn't that your methods aren't effective. It's that you must understand that when working for the king, you have to take into consideration the will of the people. And when people see a mercenary group acting under the king that is known for bloodshed, it's not that it won't end up getting results really well. It's just that they will see a group of mercenaries that haven't been noted to deal with things in the best way possible, and that they may spark fear or rumors. And that's a very bad thing.
That's understandable. I'll do best to keep my sword sheathed.
Of course, if you could find a way to maybe rectify your reputation, there would be many more jobs that the king and I would offer you.
That would be
Understood.
greatly appreciated.
Well, we'll have to give you an answer. Probably not before too long. I suppose we'll leave you to your garden.
Thank you. And I didn't catch your names.
I am Alhart Ruesh. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You are a very, very lovely woman, I must say. And he kind of like grabs your hand and then like does the royalty kiss, kiss the ring.
Oh man. Woo! All right. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words.
Well, it's only accurate. And then he looks to Bo.
Name's Bo. Howdy.
Do you not have a last name, Bo?
No, I don't.
Well, I must say, many people do like the mystery.
Unfortunately, I'm very aware.
And he says, I already know you, Magnus. I do take it that you are quite good with the instrument you carry.
I don't like to pride myself too much, but I suppose.
Maybe you can play something at the feast. I'm sure that the king and all of our guests would like to hear it.
I'll keep that in mind.
And finally, he looks at Lothric and he says, and your name?
It's Lothric. Lothric Wilhelm.
I'll be sure to remember that name. Now, I don't see, your
Princess?
charge. Her ladyship, not at all.
She's
He's back there speaking with the king.
Oh, of course. As nobles do.
Yes, well, we should probably go back and discuss what we are to do regarding the towns.
Oh, and do be careful of the peonies. They're rather tender this season, so just try to stay away. And he points to a pathway and he says, try to stay away around them.
Ah, shit, am I stepping on something again?
No, it's just that a lot of ground vibration stresses them out. So if you could take a different path, that would be fantastic.
Oh, of course.
The vibrations do what?
They well, it doesn't matter. Just try to not walk near those, please.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, I will see you, Bo. In whenever you come get me. There are about and he kind of looks at one of the strings and he says, about 4 hours till the feast, so you'll have that time to get yourselves ready. And I might recommend maybe doing that last button up again.
Okay. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. It makes me feel like I'm being choked on a penguin. Never mind.
Suffer.
Again, it's just one day. We can do this.
I don't like it.
You'll get used to it, cowboy.
You know, you don't get to call me cowboy. That's Magnus's thing.
It's
In
like
that,
6 more hours.
I'm going to take my leave. And he kind of like turns around and walks away.
Thank you.
We're gonna go ahead and take a different path than we, I'm assuming, came in on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, we'll take that path.
Well, I
So
didn't mean that. I feel bad.
No, it's fine.
I don't. That was funny. So I'm honestly thinking that we should take the reliquary. As fun as it would be to try and watch you guys fuck up the other town. Or no, how should I say this?
What are you talking about, Magnus? You'd be the one handling that.
Why?
You're the most charismatic out of all of us.
I do have to agree. That sentiment.
If you think a goblin tribe is gonna listen to some podunk bitch like me, I kind of doubt it.
You understand that I don't speak goblin, right?
Okay, but you don't know if goblins can't speak your language either.
What? Hang on. We also don't know if that's a goblin tribe.
That was just a mere theory that he brought up.
It's just a
Right.
theory.
No, don't.
But so it's either goblin tribe or fucking cult.
Religious cult. Our
I
options
kind
are
of have a
certainly
hunch.
bizarre.
I kind of have a hunch that it's the thing that we ran into with.
It's a theory. A town theory.
God
damn it. God damn it. This is exactly what I said do not do, and you still did it, Cole.
A goblin theory.
Listen, I just planted the seed. Cole watered it.
Oh, God. Yeah, fucking nice pun, Alice.
It's beautiful.
Sorry. Anyway, continue.
Fuck, where was I?
I mean, I agree on you that we should do religious cult instead of possible goblin tribe.
No. We're not doing religious cult.
I
That
thought
is
religious
the one.
cult was a...
No, that is the one that takes finesse, not violence.
Shite. Alright, fine.
That is true. And going to deal with a possible goblin overtaking or something else is what we were personally requested by Clay to do. So we'd be earning us some,
However,
I feel, a good reputation with at least the crown.
I think that would be a grand idea. However, I do think that we should maybe focus on asking questions sooner rather than later instead of swinging first. You know, that does seem to send us not in the very good eyes of the people. Or
That is true.
nobility. Guards? I don't know.
I think all of the above. But I do agree. I think that would be... Plus, it's closer. He said it was a 2-week
That's fair. Would we
walk
know, like, where reliquary would be in comparison to
I mean, no. He said that it was in the reprieve. So based on that general idea, you can kind of tell that you would be in the general area where you are now.
Oh, good.
Think of it like 7 different, or like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 different states are all connected that make up Live Liquor, and each of those are run by a appointed family. And each of those states, while they don't have firm, hard borders, they do have dictated areas of where their lordship and kind of reign ends and another begins. And the reprieve is the largest one.
Yeah, it's like a region, not a whole state.
Exactly.
And then,
Okay.
just to keep our ducks in order, the reprieve is the one that we don't really know shit about, but could be the possible goblin thing, right?
The reprieve is the one you're in right now. The one with all the weird moving mechanical things.
Yeah.
As you were coming up into Asima, you went through Green Grove,
Mhm.
which was like a highly dense forested area.
Okay. That's where we met the little Fae friend.
No, that was just an outshoot of the Forgave lands.
Okay.
Mm.
And
Okay.
then
Cool.
the other town, not Reliquary, but the other town is the one that has the possible cult thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Allenberg has the.
That's
Yeah,
what it's
that-
called. Thank you.
Let me put those in the roll 20.
Yes, please. I'd like to write that down. Ow, sorry. Okay.
So as you guys are
Cool.
discussing, you watch as Arnulf deliberately walks like on the path of the peonies.
No, 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 no.
No. Ah, he did it.
Oh, what?
The peonies.
Don't walk on the flowers.
Peonies.
Clay didn't want us to walk near the peonies.
Oh. Well, I'll just.
Just walk
lightly.
away from it.
You already.
Well, I'm already here.
You're already
okay.
there. Just keep
Just
going.
tiptoe. It's
He just starts like very gently walking the rest of the way, and he says, "I'll just tell him one of the king's hounds got out."
He's trying.
I've come back to recollect your weapons, of course, other than, and he gestures to Ro.
oh right. I'm gonna hand him my saber.
And I'll hand him my long sword, 2 great swords, and my dagger.
No,
You
you only got.
your great sword
You
back.
only have the great sword, homie.
I thought I had 2, because
No,
You
you
only
do.
gave us our
It's just
swords.
you only got the swords you had back.
oh,
It
okay.
was like
Cool,
it was a
cool.
ceremonial thing.
Mm.
All right. Well, I will hand him my singular weapon back.
Do the same.
Why, thank you. Sorry, it's customary for is customary a word?
Yes.
Yes, it
Customary
is.
is a word.
Yeah,
Keep going.
yeah, you got
Just
it.
wanted to make sure. It sounded wrong coming out.
No, you got it.
It's customary for when meeting the king that the warriors in question have their weapons to show their prowess.
It's fine. No worries.
Let's see. Did you all talk to his lordship about what you were wanting to talk about?
A
Yes.
decent amount.
Fantastic. If that's the case, I would like to help educate you more on the proceedings of the feast tonight.
Oh, that would be lovely. Yes, please.
Okay. So, it will be a gathering of all of the invitees. What that means is every major feast we have will be an invitation to all of the head citizens. So, all of the lords and ladies of livelaqore, and of course, a select few of those who are no longer or never were of the aristocracy, selected by the king himself. This has a rather new change, but a welcome one in the eyes of many people.
That's so kind of him.
Yes, and very dangerous. However, because we are hosting another noble, there will be an opportunity for each of the nobles of livelaqore to give a speech in their thanks and also report on the happenings of their lands. I must ask that when this is happening, unless the floor is opened to questioning, that none of you raise your voice.
Oh, that's understandable. I believe we can do that.
I agree. I don't think there's a reason for that.
Okay, fantastic. And I would like to also talk about manners, and you all spend the next 10 minutes trying to absorb whatever the hell Arnulf is telling you about what to do and proper manners, what fork to pick at the dinner table.
Oh man.
When
Oh
we
no.
before the feast,
Fuck,
Magnus
okay.
is gonna be like, okay, you go outside in, No, you can't use the same fork twice, Lothric. That's just, please, just put it down.
There are table manners where you have to put your utensils in a specific direction, or else they're gonna think you're saying "fuck you" to the cook.
What do you mean I can't put my elbows on the table?
You just
No,
can't.
it's
Bo,
you don't
take
do
the
that.
napkin out of your collar.
What do you mean? I'm trying to
Take
eat
it
here.
out of the collar.
Okay, so he also says, I would also like to bring up a concern I had about your treatment of how do I put this? If you accept what Clay has asked of you, I'm assuming he's asked you to help with one of the towns. I would like to ask that you deal with it in the most delicate manner possible. As you all know, more than myself, I am assured, a lot of the things going on here in livelaqore are very tenuous, and the people are starting to lose faith in the crown.
Oh. Well, that's not good.
No, not at all. Especially when his lordship really gives all he can to the people.
Well,
Whichever the case, we'll be sure to handle it with
yes, of course.
the most delicacy that we can muster.
And I thank you deeply for that. I believe that is everything. And he walks over to Bo and he grabs both of your collars and does the button up.
Come on.
Oh, Clay had mentioned something about me playing a piece or two at the feast. I wanted to check in with you and make sure that was also alright.
Oh, fantastic, yes. So, after or before the speeches, so it will go like this. The nobles take their seats, the food comes out, the people take their seats, and then, after the main course, the king will stand up and basically declare that it is time for talk rather than food. And, at that, one of two things can happen. Either you may stand first and give your performance, or wait until the rest of the ones who are talking have talked, and then give your performance. And then the latter course of the meal will come out, and we will finish the feast with a small dance.
A dance?
It's nothing big, nothing like a ballroom, but it's merely a formality. The king will present the dance, and he kind of like blushes a bit, and he says, "It's sort of customary. It doesn't matter." And then after that, the beneficiaries or invitees will then all take to the floor and dance if they wish. Of course, you may all leave before that happens as well.
Oh, that's all right. Do we have any problems with us?
I think that's up to the rest of you. I'm probably just gonna be there for the food and performance.
Oh god, don't make me dance, please.
I'd like to see. I'd like to watch.
We'll stay for a few minutes. It's not.
Well,
We can leave at any time after the speeches. It's fine.
I don't have any objections. It's whatever you guys want to do.
Just
Nice.
be sure to announce that you are leaving to his lordship before you do.
Of course. And is there a kind of theme for the evening, or is it more of just like meet and greet of nobles? Just so I can get a bit of a
meet and greet. There's no theme at all, no.
cool. Magnus just gonna bust out some fucking AC/DC. No, jokes.
Well. All right then.
Of course. Well, I think the rest of us might get ready. Bo, if you want to take this chance to go let Mr. Clay know our plans and have that chat that you were wanting to have, I think now would be a good time.
Sounds good. And he just starts walking. Tries to
Okay.
watch out for any flowers.
All right. So Arnold will say, "I will take my leave then. If you need me, I will be most likely in the throne room."
Of course, Arnold. Thank you.
Thank you. And he gives a slight bow and then begins walking away. This time avoiding the path. So we're going to go over to Bo as you find Clay once again. This time he's underneath a large old oak tree, kind of just like sitting there under the shade, writing some notes.
Mr. Clay?
Oh, hi, yes. Welcome back, Bo.
Thanks. Okay, so that string of arson, partially in Solili.
Yes, what about it?
I was there for that. I was there on that date.
Do I need to get the guard?
No. Wait, why would you get the guard?
You didn't cause the arson, did you?
No, of course not.
Oh, fantastic.
That's on me. I'm sorry. No.
No, it's okay. I just it's
Okay.
no big deal. I meant no offense by it.
You're fine. I didn't think you did. I grew up there in Solili, and specifically in Yawthorne. Heard of it?
Yes.
Okay. I was a town guard. Well, yeah, I was one, and I'm just gonna be a little blunt with it. I witnessed the people that I learned to fight with, learned to live with, and learned to enjoy life with burn to a crisp and get stabbed.
Oh, that's
I
awful. I'm so sorry.
it's well, it's not alright, but it's trying to make do with what I can. I need you to tell me everything you know, if you know anything about that raid in specific.
Let's see. And he kind of like goes to his pouch and pulls out a bunch of different strings you see that have been tied into a full knot, and he starts picking through them. They're kind of like all on one single braid. He says, when would this have been about?
It was 5 years ago.
5. Okay. And then he goes back into his pouch and pulls out a different braid. And he climbs up the braid all the way to a single knot. This one you can see has it's like a green knot, but it's woven into like a green and red knot with different colors. And he says, right. So, as far as I know, this one was the one that was markedly unrelated to the rest of the strings of arson. I know that a lot of people died. I know that it's believed that the Thieves Guild there in Solili had some part or something to do with it. Albeit unknown if it was the cause or the solution. I know that. Let's see, and he goes down a couple more knots. He says, eventually the perpetrators were found and hanged. However, there's still a lot out there, and they're all sort of unknown. The leader of them was found, however. He was hanged in Yawthorne about a year ago.
Do you know the leader's name?
It was I believe it started with a K. Kiln, I believe. But that's as much as I know. But like I said, this was the one that we knew about. The rest of the strings of arsons are in the past 2 or 3 years, and these are random and strange. And in fact, recently, and he pulls out another braid and he goes down to it, and you see that it's the most recent braid. This one happened in Cobalt not a month ago.
Ah,
Those are the ones that I'm talking about of the arson strings that we really have no idea what's causing them or who or why. They're seemingly random, from noble houses to villages to simple farmers, really. And then people just disappear. Assumed to have died in the fires, but we don't really know.
thank you.
Of course. I know it's not much, but if you need help dealing with what you've been through, you can always talk to me.
We'll see about that. There's a lot more going on here than any of us know.
I was afraid of that.
All right. Well, if that's all you know, Mr. Clay, then thank you for your time.
Thank you. Here, and he goes to another pouch and opens it and clasps it, and he pulls out like a bag of like dried leaves, and he says, "I know that in Yawthorne they make a very different kind of tea. Instead of hot, it's strangely chilled. These are those tea leaves if you don't have any."
Huh. I remember my mama only broke this stuff out during holidays.
Well, we grow some here in the garden, so it's no big deal.
Well, thank you for that.
Of course.
He walks off towards the group, and if the group's not there, then to the inn.
Okay. Is the group there?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we left to go to the inn yet.
I think we would like wait for him, just like kicking rocks or something, or
Okay.
Yeah.
teaching each other how to play boulder
Yeah.
parchment shears.
Oh, don't take the rock. That was near the. Oh, that was near the flowers that he told us not to. Okay.
Yeah, the rock. You watch as the rock literally like boom, 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 and then tramples 3 flowers.
No!
Guys, come on.
I'm gonna
Wasn't-
turn around and
that
walk
wa-
out really quick.
That wasn't me.
Goodness. Okay, to the end. Fuck
To
this
the
place. Well, not fuck that. Sorry, Clay. I didn't. God damn it.
He's not near you.
Uh,
So, do you guys want to? Are you looking to do anything specific over the next course of like the next 3 hours, or do you just want to skip to the feast?
We can just skip to the feast, I think. I don't have
Oh,
any
I was
plans
gonna-
unless anybody else does.
I was gonna ask both some questions.
Oh, okay. Question me up.
Question me up, firecracker. So, Bo, you said that you made your wife's rings, right? Or you and your wife's rings?
Yes, me and my pa made them.
So, do you do like other forms of jewelry, or is it just like rings and other stuff? Because I heard you were a goldsmith. I don't know if we touched on that like heavily, but
Yeah, I used to be a goldsmith once or twice. What? I can make different kinds of jewelry. You just gotta give me the tools and the materials.
cool. Because I was thinking, so for some of my magic-y things, I have to use like certain materials and everything. And I was wondering if you could possibly incorporate them into like some of my earrings or anything. And if you need like extra materials, I can go out and grab some. Like, this doesn't have to be like now, today, but like, you know.
Well, like I said, I don't even have the tools on me.
We can find you some. That's not a huge.
Of course.
Cool.
But yeah, I'd be willing to do that. I would need a decent forge, but I'm sure you can suffice for that.
Actually, yes, I can do that.
It'll be a bonding experience, sure.
You fucking slide bitch.
Wait, I can be a forge. I can though. That's a thing that I can do.
Yeah, produce flame, motherfucker.
No. Heat metal, motherfucker.
Oh, that too.
I'm still mad right now.
Why are you so mad?
Just shut up. Continue.
But yeah, you can be a forge. I would need something to pour the metals in without it going everywhere and killing someone.
I can cup it in my hands.
No,
Wait,
it's too
not
hot.
fireproof. Damn it.
No, you're not fireproof, Magnus. We've been through this.
Yet.
So as you guys are walking and discussing, as you're walking back to the inn, you begin hearing another ding 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 as a town crier says, "The dream pirates spotted off the Green Tree Isles." And then he goes on and says, "A family found in Azimar has been determined to have locked away their daughter to be used as a sacrifice. What will happen next?"
Oh,
And then
that's what happened to her. Oh,
And then he
no.
says, "A first from Sequestria, ding 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 ding. A request to the Emperor for help dealing with a problem. No one has seen their face. It was just a written letter. If you have anything, please tell me, then the city guard."
Written letter. I'm sorry, Cole. Like I could you repeat that last one?
Yeah. A first from Sequestria. A request to the Emperor for help dealing with a problem. No one has seen their face. It was just a written letter.
Weird.
Okay.
The daughter in shit.
Azima?
Azima, that's it. In Azima. That was mentioned, wasn't it?
Yeah, Falmor
yeah,
mentioned something about that while we were there.
Yeah, that was an option that we could have.
Shut up.
Odd. They kept her in the basement?
Well, we never investigated any of that. We just, you got kidnapped, and then we kind of blew up a house, and now a child is an orphan. We didn't do any of that.
Apologies, I'll try not to get kidnapped next time.
Please.
For the love of fuck, please do not get kidnapped again.
That was...
It is not on my to-do list.
I think that was stressful for all of us. Mostly for you, but...
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Anyway. I guess
Okay,
we're gonna keep
go
going?
for it. Yeah, back to the end.
Back to
I think so. I think I'm gonna stop by a shop or two, get you the shit that you need.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so mad at you.
Why are you mad at me?
You're welcome.
You'll find out later.
God damn it.
I
I just work here, man.
don't know, man. I just work here. I'm just role playing, man.
Alright.
man.
So, anything else that you want to talk about? Or are you just going straight to the shop, Alice?
Nah. We'll talk about it while Poe is using me as a forge.
Okay. So we'll just say that you can. We don't have to roleplay it, but you can go to a shop and pick up a couple items. It'll be like 10 gold pieces.
Oh, fuck yeah, bro.
Actually, it'll be 25 because you need blacksmith's tools plus the additional. It'll be like 30.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
isn't there also like a jeweler's kit thing too? Oh, I'm not making this any better.
Well, because
Any
there's...
kit or tools will be 25 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
Howdy, y'all. Magnus told me to say a couple of words to the people watching us, whatever the hell that means. But they also told me to tell you to subscribe on both Twitch and YouTube. That way y'all can get a notification for when we post on both platforms alike. Anyways, with that said, let's get back to our regularly scheduled shitfuckery. Thank you kindly for watching. Have a good one. Magnus! I told you not to use thunderclap in the estate!
With that, we're going to come back. Daenerys, Erin, has rejoined us because she's amazing, and we missed her very much.
Erin!
Hi,
Go
I'm
with
back.
me to us.
So, with that, unless there's anything you guys would like to do, we will begin the feast.
Sure.
I thought we were going back to the inn, but okay.
You were, but you'll be going back to the castle, so I don't want to roleplay that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay, Dad.
as the day begins to set into dusk, the sun on the horizon just above, not yet that kind of purples and yellows and oranges that you would see, but definitely getting there. You all come back to the grounds, and as you look around, you see that in the middle of as you enter the castle, there's a pathway leading directly to the 3 large double doors on like a half octagon. Not octagon. What's the 6-sided shape? Hexagon.
Pentagon.
No,
What
that's
the-
5.
Are you for real?
Yes.
We all don't
Pentagon
know.
is
You
5.
should know this.
Man, I
Hexagons are my
suck it, man.
favorite.
I need to go back to school, dog.
You're in the military. How do you not know what? It's fine.
Okay,
Apparently,
anyway.
I'm not Air Force material either because I don't know how to fucking do basic math.
All right, roleplay time.
So, you see that there's a single green mound of grass lying in front of that. So the path kind of diverts around it and then heads into the 3 doors. And on that green mound of grass is like sort of flat. There's been a row of different tables and chairs set up. Their chairs themselves, there's been like cloth put down, and then the tables and stuff put on that. And then that is behind ropes, like kind of like theater ropes. And then armed guards stand outside that, and then on the other 2 sides of the pathway there's more green grass, and after that there's the flower beds, and on those you see even more tables and chairs, many more. And you watch as the king, as Oslo, kind of stands and overlooks it as different servants are like moving chairs and things, and he even gets in and starts helping order things as Arnulf tries to tell him not to do that. And you watch as Daenerys, standing in her beautiful robe, is off to the side watching it all happen.
I suppose we are
Thank you.
going to approach Daenerys and just update her on what we discussed.
Oh God, Firebird, I missed you. I feel so weird here.
It's not a place for your kind, I guess.
He keeps trying to undress himself.
I hate it. I don't like the neck button. It's too tight.
Bo, leave your clothes on.
I'm not. No, hey. It's not like that.
It's indecent in the presence of a king.
It's one button, though.
Oh, I don't mind.
See, he don't care. He don't care. I'm taking the damn button out.
Just the
And then-
button.
You watch as you begin doing it, you watch as Arnulf storms over, and he says, "If you touch that button, I will remove your hands."
Well, hey, he said it was okay.
And I say it's not.
Bo, please, just listen.
Bo, in
Fine.
the name of the gods, please.
Fine, it's staying on. Damn it.
Thank the gods.
Oh my goodness. So,
Please
Daenerys-
excuse my guard.
It's okay. It's formalities.
Yeah,
Yes,
I got it. I got it, Ornolf.
Bo.
Yes, your
Manners.
majesty.
It's
Ew.
okay.
I didn't like that, but okay.
Anyway, we have, we talked to Clay, and we have collectively decided to go to, Reliquary. That's the town that we wanted to go to, and that's the one that has gone off the radar, according to Clay.
Right. Have you found anything out about it?
Not much other than just they've sent messengers over and they just never returned.
Hmm.
So they want
Quite
us to
scary.
investigate. But I suppose our other option is Kallenberg, which is
Probably
further
being
away.
run by a cult.
And that as well.
Well, I'm interested in
no,
finding this town.
move the table over there. Yeah, that looks much better.
Well, I'm
I
interested in
I like-
finding this little town.
Yeah, me too. Do they need help setting up?
Okay, I'll just walk over.
My lord, I believe that the centerpieces should be in the center. That's kind of what the name implies. No, I like it much more when it's slightly off to the side. It catches the eye, don't you think?
My lord,
Oh, yes.
sir, do you want any help moving these tables?
Oh, no, we got it.
Alright.
Can I use prestidigitation to move one table slightly an inch to the left?
That's so mean.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Fuck yeah! What is math? Oh, I think it's 6. Hang on. Okay, plus. What is math? 13. Yes? 6, 12, plus 1. Yeah. 13.
Oh, sorry. Wait, what?
Did I cut out? Okay, I rolled a 7. My sleight of hand is plus 6.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The table kind of like, and then you watch as Arnulf kind of like, yeah, all right, I'll allow it.
Man was just smiling to himself.
As Bo is walking back, he's just gonna look at Magnus and just be like, "Why do I feel like you did something?"
I don't know what you're talking about.
I stepped away for 2 seconds. What? I don't even want to know.
Lovely. But, anyways, what we figured is Reliquary, it's closer. Whereas Kallenberg would be about a 2 weeks walk.
That is quite a difference in times.
Quite. So, I suppose we've all agreed more or less on Reliquary, unless you have any objections.
No objections of mine. I assume we'll make it to the other town eventually anyway.
If we make a good enough impression on how we handle this, it's a possibility.
I'm sure we'll
Of
be
course.
fine if Whoa! Sorry.
Nice!
Magnus, are you okay?
Just did a rewind.
That's what it sounded like, too. I'm sure we'll all be fine, just as long as we're on our best behavior. And try not to swing first.
Yes. That's...
Yeah. It'd be preferable to not swing first. And she looks at Bo.
Hey, whoa.
I'm gonna look at Lothric.
What?
It's just the disappointed parent stare.
Right, I think that's it. We're all set up now. Arnulf, how many guests do we have? And Arnold kind of like pulls out like a scroll and begins unwinding it. It just keeps going, and then finally he gets to the end and he says, well, with the list you've invited, about 302 tonight. And the king kind of like,
Oh dear.
right, I overdid it again. Aye. Oh well, Kelsey, come here. And you watch as a small, not a small, but like a tall, kind of thin, red-headed woman, of slim frame but a very nice face, kind of like walks over, and he says, right, Lothric, you'll be sitting next to her tonight. This is Kelsey. She's my daughter. And he kind of like looks to Kelsey, and she kind of just smiles and gives a nod.
It's nice to meet you. And Lothric gives a polite bow.
She kind of curtsies. She's soft-spoken, but I'm sure you'll get along fine.
I'm okay with that. Shouldn't be too difficult.
Right, so I need to take a piss, and he turns around and starts walking off.
Oh,
Oh, I see. Whenever I say that, it's unmanageable. But okay. All right.
Hey, he's the king. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
I can just imagine him saying, instead of taking a piss, I need to use the Lord's room.
The little lord's room.
The little lord's room.
I need to go to the little
Yeah.
Lord's room.
Something like
you need to
that.
go to the porcelain throne.
Sorry,
Just switch it up for
Cole.
porcelain.
I don't know why I thought that was Ornolf and instead of the king. That was my mistake. Can I take that last statement back?
No.
No, you
No.
said it.
Damn it.
Wait, it's Onslow's the king, right?
Oslo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oslo's the
Oslo,
king.
not
I
N.
thought Ornolf was talking.
Cool.
Are they too similar? Sorry.
No, it's fine.
No.
Because, sorry, it's the dyslexic. I'm sorry.
I meant their voices.
Nah. It's fine.
Okay. So, Arnulf begins ushering you to take your seats as guests begin arriving. You watch as 7 different guests arrive, which you do not recognize, and they all take their seats on the kind of like strange set of long tables in the middle grassy area. And then you watch as an 8th character does arrive, and you do recognize him.
Is it Lord?
Wearing different colors than he was the first time you saw him, but still the same manner of many different rings and earrings. His jet black hair slicked back. He's wearing dark purples and blues, and he still carries that snide, cruel smile as Lord Delore walks in.
As he
And he
walks
says-
in, can I deadpan him and just like the slight, smallest, itty bittiest smirk, just like, eat shit, motherfucker.
Sure.
Well, I don't say that to him, but that's the face that
No,
might
I
look
know.
that, you know.
So you give him that look, and he doesn't even look at you. He doesn't even see
I figured not.
So,
He-
uh,
you. Lord Delore is the guy. Are you talking about Stalin?
No.
Magnus
Look
tripped in
below.
the shop, right?
Wait, what?
Yes.
Yes.
Magnus tripped Lord Delore in Kalishna's aromas.
Oh, that's him. Okay.
Oh no.
I'm gonna.
Great.
So, as I see him walking in, I'm gonna lean over to Daenerys and just quietly say, "If he tries anything, he does first."
We're on
Oh,
our
keep
best
your
behavior
weapons in-
tonight.
To yourself.
So none of you have your weapons but Daenerys and Rue. Or armor, by the way. You don't have your armor either.
Do I still have my skeleton?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Please try to keep your cool, Bo.
So he kind of takes a seat and he says, well, this is quite a meeting of people. And he looks around at the other 7 faces, and they all kind of like look at him puzzled. That he says, oh, I was personally invited by the king.
As we were too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who are you?
No one
I'm-
important.
I look at Tam.
No one you would know.
I'm sure not. But I do recognize her lady, of course. And he gives a slight, like, head nod to Daenerys. And he says, I must apologize for being so curt to you the other day. I was having a rather poor day. And he begins fiddling with
Daenerys,
one of the rings on his fingers.
Daenerys stands and does a little curtsy and is like, "No worries, my lord."
Oh, please, I hold no actual title like that. I do own land, but these, and he gestures to everyone around him, he says, these are all the lords and ladies of the land.
So, why were you invited here then? If you're allowed to say, of course.
Well, I overlook and manage many of the quarries of stone here in livelaqore. You see, the stone here is very special, and I know everything about it. And with that, and then Arnulf says, we are to begin as soon as the last few guests take their seats, and you all watch as you've been talking. A large number of peasants and poor people from outside the city and in have started taking seats at the other two sections of tables and chairs. And as the last one sits down, the king comes back and he scoots in his, or he doesn't take a seat. He stands next to his chair and he says, "Let the feast begin." And food comes out. All of the people who sat down in the chairs stand up. The food comes out, they sit down, and then you all begin eating.
Right?
Nice.
What kind of food is it?
So, the food is a massive spread. I mean, there's hardly any room left on the tables that you have before you. This is a feast. There are different delicacies from all over Leonarol, different foods and different spices. Everything is made exceptionally well, like some of the best food you've had ever. It has many layers of flavors. It's all very good. Some of it is very bland and then has hints of flavor. Everything from like just what you think of when you think of like a kingly feast.
Okay.
Hello, Cole. Sorry, I forgot to mention. I would like Bo to be wearing his ring, not Darcy's.
Okay.
Oh.
So with that, as you begin eating, the king kind of like looks over to Kelsey, and he kind of like cocks an eyebrow. Lothric, with your now unusually high perception, you can tell she's been staring at you. Or not staring, but like shooting glances at you all night.
Oh.
Oh.
Shame.
Um,
How old is the daughter? Just double checking.
I don't know. You'll have to
Yo.
ask, won't you?
I'm just saying, this is an important thing we need to know.
You'll have to ask, won't you?
No,
Okay.
Lothric, no!
what the fuck? No, I'm not gonna sleep with the king's daughter. That's fucking weird, yo.
No,
I
no,
never
that's not what I'm
figured
saying.
that.
That's not what we're saying.
Okay. I suck at picking up on things. I'm sorry.
Oh god,
It's
no.
okay. Oh god. It's oh my god.
Okay, so my headset stopped working for a few seconds and I switched and I popped back into Lothric, don't sleep with the king's daughter! What the fuck?
So
Lovely.
Kelsey is the oldest daughter of Oslo, and you'll have to ask her age.
I would know.
No, you
Isn't
wouldn't.
it rude to ask a female her age in this time?
Yes, it is, which
It's
means
rude to
don't
ask
do
a
it.
female their age in any time.
Exactly.
I never understood that, but okay.
I'm just trying to put myself in the time period. It was extremely rude.
Gotcha.
You can gauge that she's about your age.
And we're good.
Okay.
Cool. Rue's just gonna enjoy. She gets like a mass amount of food like on her plate, like not like a giant like towering stack, but she has a very full plate, so she's just eating off of that.
Her name is Kelsey, correct, DM?
Yep.
Is she wearing like any jewelry?
Yeah, she's wearing. I'll put that in the roll 20. She's wearing a very. It looks like at first like very mundane and like not flashy at all, but as you look at it, you begin to tell that it's very. It's just colored that way, and it's like she's wearing like a necklace made of like pearls, and at the end of each pearl, there's like an emerald affixed, and then she has like a few rings on her fingers, but other than that, she's wearing a very simple but very pretty silk dress.
Were there so going back to, Lothric growing up, were there any good like what's it called? The people that make jewelry.
Jewelers?
Jewelers?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
We had a whole
were there
conversation about this maybe 15 minutes ago.
I'm sorry, okay.
That's
Were there any jewelers that were like renowned for their craftsmanship
Yeah,
in
you
Yorlheim?
robbed a few.
Oh,
Wonderful.
okay.
Nice.
Kelsey,
Yeah, yes.
I happened to notice the necklace that you're wearing, the pearls and the emeralds.
Oh, yes.
Where did you happen to come across such a beautiful necklace like that?
Well, it was my grandmother's. Actually, the former queen had, I like to think, very good taste. She had it made in, well, I guess Solili wasn't really a state back then, but she had it made in Solili.
Oh!
I come from Yolheim, and growing up, there were jewelers that fashioned and had really good craftsmanship with the jewelry, and it kind of reminds me whenever I look at your necklace about the jewelers, because their jewels are beautiful, and it kind of reminded me of home.
Oh, well, I'm glad that I could give some good memory. She kind of like puts her head down and she says, Lothric, are you, she kind of like shoots a glance at Oslo as he's fucking like horking down like a thing of meat, like a whole ass flagon. He's just like fucking shoving it.
Like he was with the turkey leg.
Yeah, like he has one, like he's like double fisting like a fucking flagon and just a shit ton of meat in the other hand.
That is a
Nice.
true
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
Scotsman right there, and I can
man.
appreciate that.
And
Amen.
he watches Arnulf just has his head in his hands, and she says, "Lothric, are you forgive my rudeness, but what is happening,
Ah,
It's like a tornado.
Aaron? Why?
What the fuck?
What?
What
What
happened?
just
Why did you do that?
Oh my
What?
god.
Whose window
You
did
just-
you roll
you-
down?
You just fucking
Oh.
you full blasted us with air so hard.
It's like whenever
That was
you're on
the longest
Bluetooth.
fucking breath I've ever heard, dude.
It's like whenever you're on Bluetooth in somebody's car and they roll down a window and you're like, I can't hear what you're saying. Oh god.
Oh, I'm so
Sorry about that.
sorry.
Girly,
Continue.
what even?
Okay, so she says,
Anyways,
Lothric, forgive my rudeness, but are you seeing anybody?
Well, not at the moment, actually. Why?
Oh, no reason. You know, there's not much to talk about these days. And she immediately picks up her fucking cup and just starts drinking it, like deep drinks.
Well, there is a dance after this, isn't there?
And she
Oh my god, me too.
Why? Yes, there is.
Well, I would like to ask your hand in a dance if you'll have me.
I would love that.
And
All right.
Lothric's gonna like look at everybody else like beet
Like,
red
fuck yeah.
face, blushing, like holy shit kind of eyes.
All right.
I'm gonna
is
do
there
the eyebrow wiggle at
anything-
him. It finally comes in handy.
Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about with the king, with Arnulf, with any of the esteemed guests that surround you?
Aside
did I already-
from freaking douche canoe guy, is there anybody else that we recognize?
No. Sorry,
No?
Daenerys was going to say something. Hold on.
Did I already have that conversation we discussed with the king?
You did.
Okay. Do I retain
Fucking
any of
terrible at taking notes. His
The-
name. I keep getting the king's name and the other dude's name.
Oslo and
Oslo is
Oslo,
the king.
king.
Thank
It's
you.
in- it's in
I'm
the Roll20
sorry.
chat.
Arnulf, the advisor.
It's in the
Alright,
Roll20
there.
chat.
There we go.
All right.
Okay.
You retained it, but I'm going to bid you not to speak about it.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Daenerys will greet herself to all of the other royalties there.
Okay. You see, the 7 people around you are each dressed in their best, and their best is quite very well put together. They each go down one by one and introduce themselves. Let me pull up their names really quick. Where is it? Is it in World or Garbage?
Well, Lothric and fucking Kelsey are flirting with each other very poorly. Magnus is gonna lean over to Rue and be like, "The jewelry was made of jewelry."
So,
Who's
each
gonna like
of them-
spit out a piece of food accidentally?
each of them begin to introduce themselves. A large, fat man, like just huge, like fucking. He's like 6'3" and he's like 350 pounds.
Like
He's fucking
Kingpin
huge.
from the Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
Holy shit. Okay.
And
The brick.
He says, "Oh, this food is delicious. My name is Jaeger Lamboil. I oversee the reprieve." And then the next one down says, you see it's a very cold looking woman. She's dressed in very dark, or not dark, but very like steel blue, kind of like colorless colors. I don't know what the term for that would be.
Neutral colors.
Yeah, neutral colors. And she says, "My name is Seifa. Seifa Steelsmith, and I oversee the Forgiven Lands." The next one says, you see he's a he's not a halfling, but he's just a very short human who you mistake for a halfling and then immediately recognize as a dude. And he says, "I am a representative for the Griftmore family." And you see he's got like very white hair and he's very saggy skin. He's very old. The next is, oh, hang on, I do have a description for this guy. 1 second. You see one man, he says, he's a tall, lengthy man with a long, hooked nose, and he's wearing, like, gold. He's wearing like a gold embroidered suit and tie, but it looks like the gold embroidery is meant to look like chains. And he says, "My name is Fendrick Galorm, and I oversee, what is it again, honey?" And he looks at a woman wearing the same kind of thing, and she says, "We oversee Greengrove, darling." "Yes, Greengrove, yes." And it kind of continues on like that until you get to one, as he introduces himself, he says, it's this short, fat man with a bright red face. And he says, "My name is Adric Lilac. Adric Lilac of..." Back to this one. "Adric Lilac of the North Lowlands. Nice to meet you."
Well, it's a pleasure to meet all of you. And she bows.
You hear a chink, like this table fucking shakes as the huge man like kind of gets up and does a bow, then sits back down.
How polite.
I'd hope
Yeah.
that the House Dorathian and your houses can get along.
We only represent the different areas for the king himself. You see, the king cannot be everywhere at once, but if he could be, that would be the best king, and everybody laughs. And at that, you hear thump as Oslo slams down his flag and he goes, "Oh, I," and he stands up and he kind of stretches out a bit and he goes, "Right, I think it's enough time for food," and everybody immediately stops eating, and it kind of like quiets down the chatter of what was going on, and he says, "I would like to hear, first and foremost, of my friends here around me at my table." And Arnulf looks at you, Magnus. Are you going to take this opportunity?
Yeah, I'll get up and play the song that I put in the chat, but instead of using death like I was planning to, I just try to either do it on my lute or my violin that I have.
Okay. Roll a performance check for me.
Bet I got you.
Please do good. Please, in the name of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, please.
Oh. Watch me roll. Watch me be like really, really confident with this, and then roll a 1.
Really roll a natural one.
Don't speak it into existence.
It wasn't a 1.
2.
21.
Yeah, that's not a 1, Alice. Yeah, thanks. As you begin the song on your lute, what the chatter that remained had died down, and everybody starts listening intently to you.
And
As you play this kind of intense but soothing song.
I'm also going to use prestidigitation to add like a little like really cool flourish or whatever. If I can. I'm not sure if I can, but you know.
I'll say that for the purposes of the roleplay, you can.
Okay, cool.
And as you play, like, I don't know what, like sparks begin to come off you, or what?
Just like smoke, not like blinding, just like a smooth-ish black fog.
Okay. So as you play, this fog begins to roll in, and your form kind of gets backlit across it like a projector, and it kind of twists and moves as the song itself moves, making this very enchanting scene. And as you begin to end, everybody begins to just like start clapping. And you see the king has just been enraptured. He's staring like fucking like a deer in the headlights at you, and he's like, that was fantastic.
I try my best from time to time. And I sit back down. And
let's all thank Magnus Stentori.
Take a bow.
And they all raise their cups and take a swig, and then he says, right, now then, I would like to hear from anybody who's willing to speak. And he looks at the table around you. Do any of you take the opportunity?
No.
Yes, Daenerys would probably say something.
Okay.
Oh god, I have to come up with something now.
Okay, you can go last if you want. Well,
Yeah, I'll wait.
all right. So, as he says that, you watch as the first man stands up, Fenric Glorm, the tall, lengthy man that I forgot the name of the area he runs over with the chains. He says, well, first I would like to discuss our happiness about the new meeting. The appearance of her ladyship, as you can see, he stands about like 6 foot tall. He's very tall. He's a very tall man. And he says, I would like to thank Her Highness for taking the time to spend with all of us, as we all have no doubt that she is rather busy. Moving on, I would like to give my thanks to Our great lordship. And he gives another bow, and you watch as Oslo picks up the flag and takes another drink. And he says, to report about Green Grove. It seems we're experiencing a fair new bit of troubles. And at that, a lot of the people begin chattering. You can hear like whisper over the crowd. And he says, it's strange. We've had sinkholes begin to appear near. Oh, what is the town, dearest? And she kind of like looks at him and she says, it's Al Nahash, dearest. He says, yes, of course, the town Al Nahash. There's sinkholes, and elsewhere the other 3 towns that I look over have been talking about family pets and animals going missing. But I believe under the crown and the watchful eye of his lordship, all will end up being well. And he kind of like gestures, and everybody begins to clap, and he takes his seat. Tanaris, are you going to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Nurse stands up and she says, Lords, ladies, and compatriots gathered here today in my regard, I just want to pass on a gesture of gratitude from the kingdoms of the Floating Isles. I know we have been separated from you all, but I'm very gracious to be in the presence of not only the 7 mighty lords and ladies here, but, of course, King Oslo himself. And she bows to him.
He kind of like, I should be the one that's honored. And then you watch as Arnulf stamps on his foot and he goes, hey!
Would hope that our houses can remain allies.
And at that, everybody raises their cups and takes a drink. Do you sit down?
Yes.
Okay. As you sit down, you watch as the short, fat man kind of stands up and he kind of like, my name's Adric Lilac. I would like to thank Tanaris for coming to livelaqore. Although I do wish to know more about her reason for staying. I've heard it was academic in nature, and that she saw this as an opportunity to expand Arathia's horizons. Little did we know that Arathia was already on the horizon. And then a few people laugh at his weak attempt at a joke. And he says, I've heard in the land that I govern in the North Lowlands that there's a strange new religion that's picked up and taken over a wee bit of trouble. And that so far there seem to be only a few fanatics, unlike Anquin. And at that, everybody laughs. And Magnus, maybe Lothric, would both know that the reason they laugh is because Anquin was once a state, was once a part of the livelaqore Empire, but broke off due to a like religious fervor, like a split in the religions.
Oh.
And then he says,
Wow.
lastly, I'd like to thank the king for, well, being himself. And they all laugh at that, and he sits down. And then you all watch as Lord Delore ascends out of his chair, and Arnulf kind of like, and everybody goes quiet, and they all lay eyes on him, and he says, and Arnulf says, Lord Delore, if you wouldn't mind, this time is traditionally used for, well, the people that actually govern the lands, the selected people by the king. And Delore looks at Arnulf, stares him dead in the eyes and says, tradition, my dear Arnulf, is governed by those who partake. Why not add a little bit of spice here and there? And Arnulf kind of like looks to the king, and Oslo kind of like looks at Delore and says, I grant you permission. Delore says, I would like to discuss my gratitude towards Daenerys. Sorry, my mistake. Her ladyship. I do find her presence to be soothing. Although I must say, and he turns away from the table and to the other two tables full of like the 300 people, he says, I must say I do find it very strange that as soon as she arrived, things started to go wrong. I myself was in Cobalt when those strange monsters, I'm sure you've all heard the tale, attacked, not but 6 hours before her ladyship made landfall. And then Oslo says, if you have nothing nice to say, take a seat. The Lord turns around and says, of course, my king, I did not mean any disrespect. However, I do think that this calls, these strange times and strange happenings, calls for the quarries to pick up their pace, does it not? And at that, Oslo rolls his eyes. He says, strange happenings across the land, sinkholes opening up, new religious congregations, the likes of which livelaqore hasn't seen in 200 years. In times like this, people want their walls and hearts to be hearty and safe. And as we all know, there is no stronger, no safer walls than those made of the bluestone mined here in livelaqore. Lastly, I would like to thank our king for allowing me to speak. And he takes a seat.
Bo is
And then-
fucking seething.
Okay, Bo, as you're seething,
Oh shit.
as he takes a seat, your hunter sense begins to erupt. But it's not like any time before. It's an overload. It's so unbelievably much. It's like if 1,000 bands were screaming different songs in your ears as the ground quaked below you. You begin to feel the presence of everything you've known through hunter sense at once, and all the same, it goes away instantly. And you begin bleeding from your nose.
Bo, you know,
Oh.
I'm gonna
Lothric
grab
hands
a.
him nap.
Yeah.
Bo is also grabbing, I'm assuming, the napkin that's in his lap from the feast and trying to clean it up. And
Okay. And then all of you watch as another man stands up. Not from the table this time, but from the two tables in the back. And he stands up. He's got dirt on his face. He's wearing not rags, but not incredibly good-looking clothes either. And at that, Arnulf shoots out of his chair and he says, "My king, I cannot allow this. This is a breach of tradition." And Oslo stares him down and he says, "If you think that the people of my country, my kingdom, should not be a part of our traditions, you are in the wrong." And at that, the man kind of like says, "I would like to talk about," and he looks around, and then like you can tell he starts getting a little bit nervous, and he says, "I would like to talk about the disappearance and murder of my wife." And then everyone starts chattering. And he says, "Tell me, Your Highness, where were the Kingsguard? Where were the crown when my beautiful Esmeralda got taken from me 3 nights ago? No one knows where she went. All they found was blood and an empty room. It happened right under this very same city." People begin talking louder. "Tell me, Your Highness," as he starts stepping closer, and you watch as the guards begin to brace. He says, "Where were you? Where were you? Where were you when my daughter ran and started looking for her? Where were you when they found her dead in a gutter? All the blood taken out of her, dried like a piece of meat. and then everybody starts talking louder as the crowd starts getting riled up.
Drained?
Magnus.
Sit.
Where were you? Where were any of you? When my life got taken from me.
My hunter sense is going off.
And you watch as the crowd begins, the 300 people at the chairs begin shooting out of their chairs, and each one saying a different misgiving. Where were you when? And what happens when? All these things, all different changes in qualities, and anger starting to bubble and rise. Do any of you do anything?
Daenerys?
Can we say something? Can we maintain the peace?
I shoot up from my chair.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh, what are you
Lothric
doing?
does the same, but not as like quickly. But he kind of gets a little bit closer to Kelsey.
Daenerys,
Okay.
you're not listening to me.
I'm gonna stand up with him and turn to the king and say,
Your Highness, if you'll excuse us, I think it's time for us to go.
No.
And I'm gonna hold out my hand to Daenerys.
There's something here.
Oslo says, I think you need to escort Daenerys out, as the crowd begins to surge forward and guards begin to interlock. Hang on, give me just a second. I need to do something really quick. So talk amongst yourselves.
Bo, with me.
Listening.
I'm trying to get us out of here because something's about to happen.
Yeah, no shit, something's about to happen. That's why I'm saying we need to stay here.
No, we need to get the
No.
fuck out!
Oh, we can't stay here. It's not safe for us.
They're
That's
almost...
what I'm saying. If there's shit around us, then the king is gonna get hurt.
The king is not our concern. He has an
What do you mean
entire...
the king is
He
not-
has an entire legion. He has his guard. What does
So-
Daenerys
What
have?
about... what
The
is-
crowd begins to surge forward even more. They begin shouting and crying and wailing as you watch the seven heads stand up and take a step back. Dolores still standing, kind of that crooked smile growing wider a little bit. And he says, "Oh my, that doesn't look good." And he takes a step back and begins walking away. Oslo immediately grabs like a flagon and goes, "Whoa, boosh," and splits the table in two, and the crowd immediately silences. And he says, "I do not have tolerance for people who dare accuse me and everything that we do to keep you safe." And they all begin to look at him, and he says, "I care more deeply about any of you than you'd ever know. You understand how hard it is? Do you understand how difficult it is to reign and constantly be misjudged?" And then you watch as silverware begins to fly, as the crowd begins to roar again, and Arnulf immediately grabs Oslo by the shoulder and begins dragging him away. Are any of you doing anything?
There are escape routes nearby.
So the crowd hasn't managed to get around the guards folk, and Oslo is being dragged, and so are the seven heads. They're all making a dash for it to the throne room.
Lothric, get the girl over there.
DM, where is Lord Delore?
Lord Delore has slipped away.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Fuck. Okay.
Guys, we need to go. We follow the king.
Yeah, Daenerys is gonna follow the king.
We're just gonna kind of
Lothric's gonna grab Kelsey's hand and follow Daenerys.
Okay. As you do that, Lothric, you hear, "You're a murderer! Killers! You're all killers!"
Was us? Doesn't matter. Keep going. Keep going.
We need to get out of here.
We're just gonna kind of like hurriedly, like not hard, but kind of like push, like everyone kind of towards the throne room.
I'm assuming the nosebleed still hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
As Daenerys like follows the king, she's grabbing Bo's hand to make sure he follows.
Okay. Bo, once again, the hunter sense comes in a wave, like a tsunami. It hits you all at once. You're surrounded. And then just as quickly as it arrives, it goes away again. And you begin to feel more blood rush to your head, and you topple over a little bit.
Are you alright?
Daenerys, as that happens, you feel both of his hands. I don't know if you have both of his hands or just one of his hands in your hand. It is shaking. It's like his hand is an earthquake, essentially. And he's just like, we need to get out of here. Go. So come on.
On then, Bo. Let's get out of here.
And you see he coughs up a little bit of blood and spits it out onto the floor.
Yeah. So I guess we're all just going to the throne room. We're following King
Okay.
Oslo.
So it doesn't take long for you to get there. And as you enter, you watch as guards close the 3 massive double doors as they... And you hear Arnulf screaming at Oslo, as Oslo is sitting in his throne, kind of like, he's red in the face and he's fuming, and Arnulf's like, "You believe that you can just talk to them like that? That's... If your mother..." And Oslo says, "Don't you bring up my mother." And
Rick,
Arnulf,
how are you not sensing this?
Bro, what is going on?
Problem.
Everything is here. Everything. Fae, fiend, undead, all of it is surrounding this castle. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Hey, DM, can Lothric cast Divine Sense to try to feel what Bo's feeling?
you don't have to ask me, dude. You can just do it.
Okay. And you guys watch as Lothric kneels down and places his hand on the floor, and a little spark of lightning in his eyes glow that brilliant blue, and it fades,
So,
and then it's cast.
Lothric, you don't sense anything.
Alright.
Daenerys is going to walk up to the king. Your lordship, is this common
Get
place
out of my
in your
face!
kingdom?
I can't right now.
Turns to her party.
Oh. Okay. What do we do? How do... Can we leave? I don't think it's... They yelled at us. I think.
You were yelling at us.
That's what I thought. For just a second. I don't know. They called us... They yelled out murderers.
That could be just to the rest of whoever. Right now, our concern is you, and I turn to Daenerys. We need to get you out of here now.
You watch as Kelsey kind of like, she says, I'm so sorry. There's some rooms that we can go to. They're in the palace, but no one else knows about them. I'm so sorry. My father, he's not normally like this. I don't know what got into him.
Believe me, I've seen worse. Show us, please.
Of course. And she begins walking off, and you hear Oslo say, as you exit the main throne room, he says, "I don't have time to be worrying about what those hooligans outside are talking about." And at that, you walk away, and the screaming fades in the background.
How you doing,
This
Bo?
is-
Nose is still profusely bleeding, and he's just continuously coughing up.
One of the wraps on Daenerys, she like unwraps off of her arm and gives it to Bo. Use this to stop the bleeding.
Daenerys, make an Arcana check.
Ooh.
That is a 22.
Okay. So, you know a lot about magic, and primarily, you know about anti-magic fields. Areas that are put up in defense against magical forces. You know about them because you've worked on them in the past. You helped your aunt set up one around the House Dorathian in case of there's ever an attack. And as you begin working on Bo, it hits you that the anti-magic field around the castle is gone.
Daenerys looks Bo in the eyes. You're right. This place is not safe for us. She turns to everyone else. We need to get moving fast.
Oh, okay. Why? What's happening?
Everything is here.
Bo, keep us
see-
updated.
The magic barriers, the ones that were put here to protect us, they're not here anymore. There's something bad happening. There's insurrection in the castle.
At this point, Bo has fallen to his knees.
We're still walking.
That's what I'm saying. He fell.
Oh.
Lothric, help me get him up. I'm gonna hook an arm underneath and just kind of start trying to drag you.
And Lothric's gonna do the same, helping Bo walk. So we're out of the throne room, and the king is back there, or is he with us?
No, he's back in
king
the
is
throne
right there.
room.
Okay.
The princess is the one that's leading us to.
Kelsey
the
is
rooms.
currently leading you down like a strange kind of maze work of hallways until eventually you reach like a door that looks it looks very like this is where like a janitor would go, and she opens it and it leads into a different part of the palace. As she says, "We can, I believe we can take solace here. I need to go talk to my father."
I'm gonna stop her before she
Stay
leaves.
right here.
I'm gonna stop her before she leaves. If anything gets out of hand, is there any where's the closest exit?
She points down and she says, "Go 3 doors down, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, and then that's your exit."
Okay.
Thank you, Your Highness.
I'm so sorry. And she starts walking out.
No, we can keep her here.
If shit gets worse, we're gonna need our arms. We're gonna need our weapons.
Now is not the time.
Someone follow the girl.
I guess Lothric's gonna do that then.
Okay.
Okay.
So as you start following her, you hear her say, I don't think I don't think you should come."
Yeah, but if you get hurt, then
My fa-
you're
I cannot stress enough how I've never ever seen him like this. And at that, Lothric, because of your crazy high perception, you hear a faint in the like down towards the throne room.
We need to get to your father. Right now.
Why? What?
I heard something. We gotta go.
And she just
He might
starts
be in
fucking
trouble.
bolting it before you finish.
and then he's just gonna take off after.
So while you're doing that, what are the other 4 doing?
Trying to stand.
Daenerys is pulling out her messaging stone,
Okay.
and she's telling Varys, Castle Basilius, something's happening.
Rue's just gonna be pacing like back and forth, just kind of like anxiously.
Magnus
So-
is like at the door, just trying to make sure that like it's a one entrance room, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Magnus is at the door.
Okay. So Daenerys, you hear, hey, sorry, I was asleep. Listen, I'm sure whatever it is, you'll figure it out.
And she just
That's it.
says the word insurrection.
Nothing else comes back.
Shit. She starts like pacing the room back and forth.
So
What do
as
we
you
do,
that-
Lothric?
Lothric, you begin sprinting, and as you come to the open doorway that leads into the throne room, you see Oslo standing as a massive earth elemental is at his side, and Arnulf is like he's red in the face and he's screaming at Oslo to stop as the earth elemental begins walking towards the 3 large doors, and he says, I'll show those bastards who's gonna do something. I was in war for longer than they've been alive. And it as it starts walking towards the door. And you begin hearing the door start being pounded on from the outside as the crowd has gotten past the guards and they've started wailing to try and open the door.
Your Highness, what's going on?
And he shoots a glare at you, and you see he has bloodshot eyes. He's red in the face. His red beard is, as he's speaking, it's just speckled with like spit. And he sees you and he says, You're one of them too. And he raises another hand, and another massive earth elemental forms from one of the pillars holding up the roof as it tears out.
Oh no.
What do you mean, one of them? What are you talking about?
And Arnulf looks at you and Kelsey, and he says, Run! Run, he's gone mad! And then you watch as the earth elemental begins walking towards you.
I'm gonna pick up Kelsey and just sprint it back the way that I came.
Okay. With that, I need Bo make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm gonna give him guidance.
You can't.
I can't? Fuck. Okay.
16.
Okay. Another wave of it hits you, but this time you manage to suppress the sound. The feeling of it hits you deep, and as you start to suppress it, you begin to feel like the pain of when you first started going through the curse come back. Like, the first time it hit you, that same pain of the first night of the curse and the night that you had previously of everything happening and you just blanking out, that pain sets in again. And as you've been going through, for the first time, you're trying to finally overcome it. And once you do, you feel the heat in your veins begin to recede and the pain begin to quell. And Lothric, as you turn to sprint back, you hear and you hear the wailing on the door outside stop and cease. And you hear Kelsey go, Father! And she pushes out of your grasp and starts sprinting back. And as you turn to look around, you see Oslo has collapsed over, and Arnulf has collapsed as well. The 2 massive stone elementals have collapsed and have started slowly moving back to their positions in the pillars.
Kelsey, you need to come with us. It's not safe here.
Leave me alone! And she sprints over to her father's side. And Tanaris, make another Arcana check for me as you watch Bo kind of begin to resolve again.
DM, is there smoke coming off of me?
No.
Okay.
That's a 15.
15? You can tell that whatever stopped or removed the anti-magic field has gone away, and the anti-magic field has gone back up.
I feel that the magic field has returned. The anti-magic field. I don't quite know what is happening.
So, what does this mean? Are we safe now?
I wouldn't say that we're safe. The king's gone mad.
Can I make a check to see if there is anything else?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just perception, I guess.
Yeah.
Were we hearing all of the? We were hearing all of like the sounds from the throne room, right?
You couldn't hear it from how far
Okay.
away you were.
Well, that's an 8.
Nice.
Your hunter sense, even whatever you rolled, your hunter sense and your perception are completely scrambled. You have no idea.
I want to check on the king. Something just doesn't feel right, but we need to leave too. I don't.
No, this is right. The anti-magic field shouldn't have gone down on its own. There's something else here that had to do something to make this happen.
None of this
And
started
now that-
happening till Delore opened his fucking mouth.
Do you think he had something to do with it?
I can fucking almost guarantee. The way that he started speaking, the shit that he brought up, and how he's fucking slipped away. He's something. There's something fucking wrong with him.
I didn't see anything on him, though.
This has never felt quite right to me.
The way that he was talking about Tanaris. And the way that he started fucking pointing out the flaws. That's how you rile up people. That's how you get people to turn against their fucking king. Cause anger and misery.
But how would Delore have all those things on his back?
Regardless, if the bubble is back up, then whatever brought down the shield is gone, right?
We hope.
There's no guarantee.
Unless there's now something inside.
At this point, Bo's like leaning up against the wall and kind of composing himself.
There's no
So-
true way to tell if the thing that took the magic field down is gone. But for now, it is still there.
It's your call,
Bo's now
Tanaris.
walking towards- Oh.
Eh?
What did
Sorry,
you
I
say?
was-
I'm sorry.
Oh, as... Be your bow.
You.
Okay. I
Yeah.
just said, it's your call, Tanaris.
If we go to see the king and something's wrong,
If we go to see the king and something's wrong, it could be risking our lives and yours. Keep that in mind.
rather, I need to get this information home somehow. My damned brother Boris, he's sleeping at the moment. And she just like throws the message stone like gently on the ground, like so not to break it, but just in frustration.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't break anyways, but...
Maybe at least we can go find where Lothric went?
I'd rather not leave without Lothric.
He might be down by the throne room.
I think he did run down that direction, didn't he?
So
And then he ran back in.
while you're talking about that, Lothric, what are you doing? So you're in the middle of like You're in the doorway to the throne room.
I'm going over to the king to make sure he's okay.
Okay. As you walk over, you watch as Arnulf, like, the rage in his face starts dying down, and he starts looking around and realizing what happened. And he says, "By the gods, guards!" And as he says that, no guards come. And he says, "Guards!" And he looks around, and you see that every guard and all of the heads of state are all unconscious.
Arnulf, what's going on?
I don't know. I don't know.
Here, let me see if I can help. And Lothric goes over to where the king is laying unconscious.
So Kelsey is like over him holding his hand.
I would like to check to see if he's still breathing.
He's alive.
Can I make a medicine check?
Yeah.
Like to see if he's like hurt or wounded or something like that. Where is it? It is. It's right. It's gonna be an 18.
So from what you can tell, he's fine. He has... It seems like something happened to him to cause that to happen. You could tell from the bloodshot eyes that it like drove him into a fervor.
Arnulf, I think he passed out of rage. He's still breathing. He has a heartbeat. He's okay.
That doesn't explain how everyone else passed out. And he goes to the door and he opens it just a crack, and he says, "By the gods." And he opens it more, and as he opens it, you see that the crowd of people that were at the door are all in a pile unconscious. And while that's happening, Daenerys and the rest, what are you doing?
Probably walking towards Lothric.
Okay.
Yeah.
So out of
so
worry,
he-
Daenerys is going. Yeah.
It would be about this time of him opening the door, you would all come in.
Lothric, what's going on?
The king just passed out of rage, I believe. He's okay. He's not injured.
Dear.
Lothric,
Everybody's unconscious. Everybody's
you need to know
stopped.
everything.
Well, I came back with Kelsey, and as everybody was trying to break through the door, there were two big earth golems that he summoned out of the ground.
And
And
at that,
he-
Daenerys takes a step back. An earth elemental in the presence of my house. And she looks
What's-
down at the king
He's unconscious.
and then to his advisor. What is this madness?
Arnulf just looks at you with wide eyes and he says, I don't know. Something happens. By the gods.
You know why we separated from the Isle, from down here? Because of creatures like those.
Daenerys.
Hold on, wait. Where's Delore?
He's gone.
Arnulf looks around and he says, he didn't come in with us, no.
Can I make like an investigation check to see if he's here?
He's not
Or
here.
not like in the room, but like in the pile.
Sure.
Yeah, he's not gonna be there.
He's not gonna be there.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
Arnulf, Lord Delore, he slipped away while everybody was riled up like this. I don't think we saw where he went, but he left.
Rue's gonna kind
Daenerys.
of walk over to like Arnulf. Like he's still at the door, like the open door, right?
Yeah.
She's gonna kind of like look like into that just like look out at the like piles of people. What?
Okay.
What could have done something like this?
Arnulf's just, he's speechless.
Are there any items that Magnus would know about that could cause something like this? Like the
No.
pass out, the rage, or the
There's
takeout of the
nothing,
magical
nothing
thing?
comes to mind.
And when I came in here to make sure that the king was okay and he had the earth elementals moving around, he summoned one when I came in here and looked at me and said, "You must be one of them, aren't you?" And then I came back.
Arnold, you
And
need to
that's all
start
he said
explaining right
before
now.
we came back here and he passed out. So I have no idea what that could mean.
Oh, what'd you say?
I said, Arnold, you better start explaining right now. What is going on?
I am going to lose my temper. Don't you think if I knew I would bloody tell you? I am just as frightened as any of you. So please, for the love of the gods above, just... let's all take a second.
Okay.
Don't we all talk and leave Arnulf for a moment?
Based on that, I think it's safe to say whatever the fuck just happened had to have been from a third party.
I figured as much.
Some form of treason.
My best bet, like I said before, is Delore. Hey there, and he's the only one out of that entire room that slipped away right as shit started to get heated.
It was the one spouting stuff that aroused the crowds.
Nonsense about him, nonsense about you. That's my best bet.
And nonsense about whatever else.
I'm gonna turn to Arnulf. Arnulf, do you know anything else about Lord Delore?
He shakes his head. He says, I know that he comes from... He bought land in Cobalt. It was strange. He bought it, and then he just didn't use it, and then he started buying up the quarries.
Well,
We've always known that he's kind of been slimy at best, but the king wanted to invite him so that we could talk about the possibility of stopping quarry manufacture, because frankly we're not expanding enough for what he's doing, and so we have nowhere to put the stone.
I'm gonna go look over. Oh, God.
It seems like from what he was saying, he has bigger plans with that stone than just the city of Cobalt.
Oh yes, obviously he's a shill. I'm assuming that he said those things to rile up the crowd so that they would buy more stone to make their walls thicker.
See? I apologize for getting angry with you.
It's quite all right. I understand. It's just, please, your ladyship, you must understand this was not intended.
I understand. I will expect a formal apology at some point, as you expect.
Just gives a nod. Who is by the door?
The crew is?
I would say, yeah, I would say Magnus as well, kind of keeping an eye on the door and the king at the same time.
Okay.
Just on a swivel.
Magnus, make a perception check for me.
Oh, okay.
Can I do guidance?
Yeah.
Cool.
15.
What is with add a d4 to that.
A D4?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll a d4.
Oh, okay. All right.
Dirty 20.
Okay. And Rue, what'd you get?
18.
Okay, so you both see that. You remember the direction Delor left. See that where he was headed was like straight through the garden, but you don't see any footprints. You don't see any trace. It's strange. From where you are, you can't tell anyone ever left that way.
Oh. Rue's gonna kind of walk through the door and like walk closer towards that area where she saw him disappear.
Okay.
To observe just a closer.
Yeah, can I also go with Rue and make multiple investigation checks around that area? Be like up the wall. Okay. Up the wall, into the ground, something. That is a 24.
Andrew?
Sure. 22.
Okay.
Damn.
You both very easily find a couple of footsteps leading to the big oak tree you saw Bo going to. And while looking around, you find the unconscious body of Lord Delor under the tree.
Magnus?
I'm grabbing him and I'm dragging him back to the throne room.
Okay, he doesn't wake up.
Good.
It's fine.
Gods, okay. This kind of puts a wrench in your theory, don't you think?
Still a shady son of a bitch. And I will continue to drag him.
And anything that the king and the advisor had to do.
We're just gonna like hurriedly follow Magnus.
And you said that he bought quarries, correct, Arnulf?
Yes, livelaqore is famous for our blue stone. It's magically enchanted. We don't know by what, but it has a magical property that makes it harder and more rugged than any other stone anywhere.
Do you
It
think
makes
that
buildings last for hundreds of years?
Do you think that magical property could be tampered with? I mean, the whole city's surrounded by this magical stone.
I don't know. I'm not. I deal with things with other nobles.
I know, I'm sorry about all the questions, but it's just I have a theory that maybe that could have been tampered with and it could explain why everybody passed out.
I mean,
It's just
maybe.
a theory, but
I don't. And he looks at Daenerys and he says, do you know of any such thing?
Would I know?
You would know that the innate magical property of something like that could not be twisted to affect people in that way.
See, the nature of the stone doesn't particularly cause individuals to react that way. It's not that kind of power, you see.
We haven't encountered anything like this before, have we?
No. Well, let me see. No.
well, I mean, we could take Delor with us and wait for him to wake up, and then we can interrogate him.
And with that, you're. Oh, my head. And you hear Kelsey say, "Father, are you all right?"
I'm stepping in front of Daenerys.
We're just gonna kind of back up a little bit.
You see,
Oslo, are you okay?
you all see Daenerys's giant Aarakocra wings just go like spread across the room.
Oy. Oh, what happened?
You sort of went into a rage. You summoned 2 earth elementals,
I
and
I
then
did what?
the earth elementals that are standing right over there, inanimate, you summoned them and they came to life.
He
They were
starts to
about
get
to
up,
bust through the door.
and as he gets up, blood starts pouring from his nose. Hey,
Daenerys tries to push Magnus out of the way.
Are you hurt?
I feel like I just drank a tavern.
Well, you certainly had the anger, as if you had.
DM, can I actually go into the dining room for something?
The dining room?
Or the feast hall, whatever we were just in.
You were outside.
Outside? Okay.
Yeah.
Can I go look for one of the king's, like, mugs? Or, like,
Yeah.
the flagons that he drank out of?
Yeah, of course.
Alright. Do I need to roll for this, or do I just find one eventually?
You can. I mean, he shattered the table with one of them, and you very distinctly remember which mug he used.
Okay. I'm gonna pick that up, and I'm gonna... Because of my history with acids and poisons and alchemy and stuff like that, would I be able to discern if there was anything in his cup?
Roll a medicine check.
Oh, fuck me, that's a natural one. You know what? Fuck that. I'm using inspiration.
Okay. Finally, using it. Woo!
Woo!
Medicine check, you said?
Yep.
Medicine. Where the fuck is medicine? 18.
So, you kind of like dip a finger in and taste it, and you can tell it was spiked with something.
King was drugged.
You're not in the same room as us.
Yeah, you're like a couple hundred feet away.
I know. I'm just saying that to myself, and I'm bringing the flagon back to me, or back to the room. And I burst in, and I just pulled the mug up. King was drugged.
Hey, Bo, can I see that real quick?
Be my guest. Just don't taste any of it.
I'm gonna cast Detect Poison and Disease, because I believe it gives the location too.
Yo, that's
That's what
fucking
it says.
sick. Okay, hang on. Let me look at the.
Yeah, it says for the duration you can sense the presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and so forth and so on within 30 feet of you. You can also
15.
identify the kind of poison and poisonous creatures and diseases in each case.
Nice.
Anti-magic
Lothric.
fields.
Fucking cool.
Mm.
Hang on. I gotta pull up. So what is it? Detect poisons?
Yeah, you can sense the presence of
I
poisons,
don't need you to tell me.
poisonous.
I gotta read it because my brain
Oh,
is
okay.
stupid.
Pays to be a fucking paladin with this shit, dog. Hell yeah.
Fuck. Wow.
What a
okay.
clutch.
So, as you cast the spell, it's interesting. Anti-magic field doesn't apply here. Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Just
Wasn't sure.
for a brief rule, anti-magic only applies to like hostile or
Thunderwave.
deceit-worthy magic.
Got it.
Yeah.
Disguise though.
Because if that's the case, then nobody would be able to be magically healed, and that would be a very large problem.
That would be.
So you taste it, and you know that the location, of course, is this mug. Within 30 feet of you, there's only this mug. But you know that this was made from hag seed. That this poison, in very low doses, causes a very euphoric effect. Almost like you're flying. That's why it's called hag seed. However, In larger doses, it acts like rabies, like it drives you to insanity almost.
Oh.
It makes you incredibly paranoid, and it like makes you lash out very easily.
Arnulf, I detect traces of hag seed in this mug.
Hags, but the taster said is fine.
Who was the taster?
He's a new servant. I can't remember his name.
We got a new employee.
Did you get to meet him yet?
He shakes his head. I don't deal with the servants. That's mostly Clay's job.
Well, I think we need to question him about this servant, because that servant might know where he found the hag seed to spike the king's drink with.
You can't possibly be suggesting Clay spiked the drinks.
He does grow plants.
Clay
And he has a very extensive knowledge of plants, too.
He's worked under the king for 15 years. Why do it now?
Had to wait for the right time. You just hired a new employee that decided to drug your king?
And I mean,
That's not something that just happens.
with over 300 people here, and the lords and ladies of each of the districts around, it might be signs of an uprising.
But why would... Oh, okay. Well, Clay was at the dinner. He should have... And he looks around, and you see that Clay was in the pile of people. And he's unconscious, under a couple of other people.
I'm gonna go grab Clay and drag him back into the throne room.
Okay, make a strength check, because he's very heavy.
He's a stout little boy.
He's a very big boy. I'm gonna use my inspiration on this one.
Okay.
I've been saving it.
We are using a lot of inspiration today.
A lot.
What? Inspiration just adds a D4. Is that correct?
No,
That's
so
bardic.
You re-roll it.
That's bardic inspiration. With
Okay.
inspiration, you roll 2d20s and take. You may choose the higher of the two.
It's like with advantage.
Oh, okay.
The lowest was a 3. The second one was a natural 20. Plus 3 makes it
Nice.
23.
You fucking easily. You dig him out from under the people and hoist him over your shoulder.
And I'll take him into the throne room.
Okay.
Let's also understand that this could not be Clay's doing. Whoever the servant is, or whoever he answers to, he could have been threatened. He could have been a part of some, like, Arnold, what the fuck is his name? What?
Arnulf.
Arnulf? Thank you.
Arnulf.
I was close. Like Arnulf said, there may be an uprising, something. Let's just keep that in mind.
And all we're doing is gathering information. Just so we can put the pieces of the puzzle together so we don't make any wrong accusations.
I don't understand. I don't. And Oslo kind of like. And then he turns to Daenerys. And he gets on his knees and bows his head and touches his forehead to the ground. And he says, for a long moment he's silent. And he says, I am so unbelievably sorry.
You see, as Daenerys' cloak starts to exhibit like the element of air, and it's very like a strong element. It's kind of like if you could see wind, that's what's happening from her cloak. And she looks down to the king, says, I can forgive you, but this has been very unpleasant visit, King Oslo.
I understand. And then he turns to the other four. He does the same thing. And he says, I don't expect you to forgive me. But I don't know what else to do. And Arnulf kind of like, Your Highness, you're not supposed to bow to anyone.
Arnulf.
Rue kind of looks at the others, like unsure of how to respond.
It's fine to make mistakes, but as long as they're corrected,
Kind of,
there shouldn't be any harm to anybody.
he says, a mistake is made when you do something but you do it wrong. This was no mistake. You could have been hurt or worse.
Your Majesty, you were drugged. You had no idea what was going to happen. Although I suggest that you get better security on your tasters.
He kind of gets back up, and you watch as Kelsey kind of walks over to him and just gives him a hug, and he's silent. And then you hear as, oh my, oh, are we having another party? As Delore wakes up.
Can I punch him?
Don't punch him.
If
Oh
you
my
want
god.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
looking at Daenerys and asking this.
Would rather there not be any more violence tonight.
Yes, me too. And he kind of like brushes off, or tries to brush off Magnus's hold on him.
Nah, I'm still firm grip on his collar or whatever.
I'm shooting daggers at him, pretty much.
It's quite uncomfortable. Do you think you could remove your hand?
Not until you tell us the information we require. And Lothric's gonna go over and he's gonna squat next to him, and I'm gonna make an intimidation check.
Okay, go ahead.
Guidance.
Okay. Dirty 20. 16 plus 4.
Information? What information could you want out of me?
Why did you rile up the crowd?
What the hell was that?
What
And
was
why was the king's drink drugged?
drugged? Oh god.
Insight check.
Have I been drugged? Go ahead.
I'm gonna do the same.
Oh my god, yes! 23.
Dirty 20.
You both know that he has no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, bummer.
Okay, he clearly has no idea. Now can I punch him?
Was I drugged? Oh god.
I'm gonna let him go.
You merely passed out, and all of this happened after you gave your little spiel at the table and left.
I'm popping my knuckles.
I left because danger was on the rise. Have you no eyes, you fool?
And you didn't have the common sense to tell anybody.
Tell
People could have
anybody
gotten
what?
hurt.
That the crowd was getting riled up?
That
I'm
you
sure
riled
they all
up.
see it. I did no such thing.
Okay, I'm punching him.
Oh,
Okay, roll to hit.
Man,
this is
Bo.
not good for our reputation.
I don't give a shit. Hit him. I'm gonna hold him.
I'm usually the hot-headed one, brother.
Natural 20.
Yes!
Hit him.
Oh my god.
Roll damage. Roll double damage, or I guess
Oh
just
my
2 times your
fucking
damage.
god.
Great, you're gonna knock him out.
Good. Fucker deserves
Well
it.
then, well, then that's 6.
6. You punch him and he goes down.
Yes.
He. Oh. Oh. And you've broken his nose.
Bo!
Eris
I'm
walks
gonna
up to Bo and grabs him by the collar.
I'm gonna whisper in his ear and just say, "That's for Kalashnikov."
That's not her name.
What are you talking about? And then you watch as Oslo walks over. He pushes you away. He grabs Delore by the collar, lifts him up with one arm, and whack with his head. Fucking headbutt.
Oh!
Yes.
Damn.
Oh no!
And Delore goes, oh! And Oslo says, and that was for that little speech.
Your Majesty,
Magnus is clapping.
Arnulf clears his throat.
I'm so sorry. This was
Oslo
the
drops him and starts walking back as he wipes the blood from his nose. And he looks at Daenerys and says, sorry you had to see that, but your honor needed defending.
He bows to him.
That was probably the most badass thing Lothric's ever witnessed in his entire life. Did not ever know that a king can get down and dirty like that. Whoa.
It was terrifying.
Fucking badass. Gives a little fist bump. Props.
You
Fist
hold up your
bumps,
fist and
king.
he's like, I'm not gonna touch you,
Oh.
if that's alright.
No, it's fine. Strikes my fancy when a king gets down and dirty like that.
Well, when you gone through 23 years of war, it's kinda hard not to.
Lothric, actually, if I may interject, you said that the king turned an earth golem on you?
I did?
Well, I honestly came in here to make sure Kelsey was alright. Because I didn't know what was going to
Wait.
happen.
So, and he finally, for the first time, looks at Kelsey and then back at you and he says, my daughter, you came to make sure she was okay.
Yes, Your Highness.
Alright. Kelsey? She's like, yeah. Are you alright? She says, yeah. Right. Well, I think I'm going to go throw up now. So he starts walking out, and he once again gives one more final bow to Daenerys and says, I'm so sorry. And then Delore says, oh, why? Why?
Because you're an asshole.
And you're a flamboyant... And he says
Alright,
a slur.
I'm punching him again. I'm punching him again. No, fuck that.
You're
I'm
No, no, no,
punching
no,
him.
no, 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 no.
He got what he deserved.
Wait,
I'm
Bo.
putting my
Bo.
hands up to Bo, and I'm gonna turn down to Delore, and I'm gonna get in his face. And it fucking takes one to know one. Bitch.
Fuck does that mean? Oh.
It's quite rude of him.
Daenerys is gonna walk up to the Delore, and she kind of squats down to his level as he's on the ground, and she's like, "Had you said one more word about my house, you'd be a sworn enemy of the Floating Isles. Watch your
Oh.
mouth."
I'm really scared. Oh, fuck. And he
Okay,
starts getting up.
Let me at him. Fucking let me at him.
I cast hold person on Bo.
Do you actually?
Yes, I do.
No, I have
Is
a
it-
funnier idea.
Okay, never mind, I don't.
Maybe. Hold on, I gotta think.
Hang
I gotta
on.
think for a second.
I'm waiting.
Okay,
I'm waiting
Magnus.
for a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry, Magnus. Is that a Constitution saving throw?
Oh!
Never mind. Magnus, do it.
I actually don't know, because this is the first time I've ever used this spell. It's a Wisdom 13.
I actually do something.
Yes.
I rolled a natural 20.
Fuck you.
Daenerys, what are you doing?
Is the king's out of the room, right?
Yeah, he just left.
Daenerys gets on her feet, and she pulls out her javelin and points it at him. You do not disrespect my people like that. Understand me?
Roll an intimidation check.
Guidance.
Do I happen to give her advantage on that, considering I'm lumbering over him at this point with Magna holding me back?
All of you are, so...
That is a natural 20.
Yes!
So, as the javelin kind of, like, slowly comes up and points just under his chin, he goes, I'm terribly sorry. It's just... I've just been punched and headbutted, so... And he kind of puts a finger on the tip and kind of moves it a little bit. He says, You're right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said those things. But you can understand where I'm coming from, right?
Say one more word and you are getting another punch in the gut.
I do understand where you're coming from. My arrival here on the islands was a little bit of a mystery, and I kind of owe the houses an explanation. I'm sorry for getting in your face. And she ruffles through her bag and pulls out the scroll.
Okay.
And she says,
You pull out the scroll.
The scroll.
Oh no. Okay.
Don't do that!
Daenerys!
I don't even know what this scroll is. I want to see what this leads.
That's with my mom's
Okay,
writing.
hang on, I gotta check a few things.
Something's gonna happen because Dolores a fucking snake.
Does Delore know about this? Does he?
Oh, son of a bitch. Please, no.
He's gonna be a spy.
I'm gonna cry.
Okay. So you pull out the scroll, and he's... Do you say anything?
He says, this is a sacred artifact.
Jesus
Not
Christ.
one I'm going to let you look at, of course. But
Why, just a peek?
I stand in front of Daenerys.
Right, no, I get it. Yep. No, that makes sense.
there,
Oh, does that mean you're not blocking me anymore?
I guess Lothric's gonna stand in front of Bo then.
Daenerys does something dumb. Lothric and Magnus, hey, let's not.
Let me at him.
she kind of looks through the legs of who's standing in front of her, and she's like, my father died for this scroll. And you disrespect me in a way that my father's work meant nothing.
You know,
But
I must say, I didn't know that. I apologize. I didn't mean to, talk ill about your deceased relative. And he starts eyeing the scroll a little bit.
Get out.
Daenerys starts putting it away.
Okay. I need to roll some things. Give me a second. Okay. He says, I still have business here. Do I still need to leave?
Get out.
Right, okay. He kind of like looks at Arnulf, who's still there. And he's like, should I just come back later? And Arnulf's like, if you don't leave right now, I will kill you myself. And he's like,
Yeah,
right, okay.
Arnulf for the
He
win.
turns around and starts walking out
Nice.
as he sort of like starts stepping around all the unconscious people outside the door.
As he walks out, I'm gonna spit in his general direction and slam the door shut.
Okay.
The attitude that you have today.
Who is Rue talking to?
Everyone!
Oh, okay.
Everyone.
Daenerys. That was kind of stupid.
Daenerys stands and kind of brushes herself off. Apologize that you guys had to see me like that.
Don't get me wrong. Impressive. Still kind of stupid.
Not known for making the best decisions.
Really? We're not dead, so whoever's decision was that was a good one.
Lothric's gonna walk over to Kelsey
She's still there, kind of just speechless.
and he's gonna place his hand on her shoulder and grin slightly. I guess we'll have to put a rain check on that dance, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, you better go tend to your father and make sure he's okay.
Oh, I'm sure he's fine. He's had a lot of times like this, and I doubt Mother is far behind him.
Well, I best get back to them, so it was nice meeting you.
And to you. I need to go make sure my sisters are okay. So, have a good night.
And you as well.
And she kind of like gives you a nod and waits for you to take your hand off her shoulder.
I do that.
And she turns around and starts walking away. And finally, Arnulf is like, right, so, I suppose we'll talk about your next course of action. The king has informed me that you will hopefully be going to a town, but with everything going on, I mean, I know we could handle it here. Internal investigations are never difficult.
If you'd like extra help, then I'm sure we don't mind staying to help you.
It's more of a question of whether or not you want to stay and find out, I suppose. Clay here... I've known Clay for a very long time, and if he's... well... we'll know by the end of the week. And I do hope gods above that the folk outside don't remember what happened.
For the crown's sake, I suppose I hope so too.
I'm talking for the people's sake. It's no problem if they don't like the crown. I mean,
Not many
aristocrats
do.
are aristocrats. Exactly. But if there's mistrust there, people start turning to dark corners.
Daenerys?
What do you guys think?
I think we should go back to the inn and think about it.
Yeah.
Be...
I need a bit.
If I may, I would rather not have a noble beneficiary leave the only place we know we can keep them safe, even if it's just for a night. I can board you up in one of the palace rooms, or maybe even one of the king's rooms. It's just, with everything going on, it would be better to have you under or close by if
Yes,
something
of
goes
course.
On one condition, we get all of our weapons back.
wrong. Oh yes, of course. That was supposed to happen anyway, by the end of the dance.
We'll also
As
need
long
someone
as-
to retrieve the rest of our stuff from our inn.
That could be done.
I'd be given some privacy. Just give me a room, please.
Of course. I'll make sure that you have a full-time watch as well. They won't be intrusive or anything, but they will be outside should you need them.
Thank you for your generosity.
No, I'm so unbelievably sorry.
It's all going to work out. And
Well,
Daenerys
oh,
turns to wherever, and to like leave. I don't know. Is there people escorting?
No one's woken up yet.
Not yet. Okay. Never
they're
mind.
all still kinda.
well, if the time ever arises and you need assistance, I don't think we told you about our group, but despite the reputation, you can always count on the Band of the Wild Storm to assist you in your times of need.
Not the fucking advert.
That's so cool, dude.
Right. I think we'll be okay. Although, and he starts digging through another pouch on his side, and he pulls out a stone, and he says, I do suppose we could keep in touch. Just don't use it too often. I don't like having voices in my head. And he walks over to you, Lothric, and he holds out a stone of sending.
Well, thank you. If you ever need it, just give us a call, I guess. I'm not trying not to bug you too much.
I'm sure we will. Again, I don't want to be hearing, like, questions or, like, anything. Please, just, like, if it's an emergency, I'm a busy guy.
Of course, I understand.
Also, quick word of warning. Don't, like, the whole, well, Lady Kelsey, if things go wrong, his lordship does have the authority to kill you.
I understand, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize, it's just I'm giving you a warning.
I appreciate that.
He's a king, but he's also a father, you know.
And a father must look out for his own.
Wow, you sound like a newspaper ad. Anyway,
You get used to it.
What's
over
a
time, it just
newspaper?
happens.
Hang on. What's a newspaper?
what do you mean, what's a newspaper? They have newspapers.
No, the fuck! I don't think so!
Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
A printing press.
Bitch, I made
They're
this
a
world.
thing.
Fuck you.
Fair. Literally, all we've heard is town criers, not this person is reading a paper.
Yeah, because they're not, like, super common, but newspapers are printed throughout the different countries to keep the nobles updated.
Okay, bet.
It's
That's
much
cool.
better than a town crier.
That's cool. I like that.
It's so fucking funny. Oh god. Okay. Well.
So
with that, we're going to bring tonight's episode to an end.
Woo!
Yay!
Yay!
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
That was so much more.
Holy
I want that
fuck,
speaker to
Cole!
Come on, come faster.
What?
Alrighty, everybody. We hope that you enjoyed that episode of Dungeons and Destinies. Hopefully, if you guys stayed this long, you'll leave a like and subscribe. We hope to see you guys in the next episode. Bye!
Bye.
Hang on, I gotta do this close. Hang on. No, all the music.
All the music is by Michael Gelfi. We love you. Bye.